It's Week 6 of the National Football League, where we'll see this team's leader at quarterback. He's fourth in the NFL in passing touchdowns this season. We're just moments away from the action, and it comes your way next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you take a look at our home side as we enter play here. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
On the other side of the field for our visitors here, they come in pretty desperate here for a win as they've started the year 0-5.
And it seems way too early to start talking about hot seats, but guess what? When a team is 0-5, people...
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a peek at a guy with a lot of experience. His 9th year now in the NFL under center.
And this is a game for grit, determination, and somehow finding a way not to panic. What a horrible start for them. I mean, they haven't won a game yet. So now, as a quarterback, you're not just talking to your team. You've got to demonstrate to them what they need to do to win. He's got to be the leader by how he plays.
And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete.
Well, CD, you see some of the injuries that have popped up for this franchise, and obviously hoping to get these guys back sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and these guys, they've been hearing the mantra, next man up, since their Friday night light games in high school. It's 3 simple words, but they're absolutely perfect to use, and everyone has adopted them. Next guy up, do your best.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
And, Charles, you wonder about this defense coming in. I mean, look, it's no secret they're playing a team that's down on its luck right now. Losers of 5 straight. How does that change how you prepare for a game?
Well, to me, the first thought is you just get after them early, right? Take away any chance of them building any confidence. But the second thing is you prepare a little bit differently. You got to expect this team to take chances, go for it on 3rd and 4th downs, run a lot of trick plays, anything to try and break their losing streak. So you must stay alert and stay aware.
And he's brought down. 12 yards as they get to reset the sticks. They're going to look to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Now a handoff up the middle. Pendleton, and he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid game.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
A lot of precision being shown on this opening drive. They've been methodical, they've been crisp, and as a reward, they're going to be set up with an early 1st and goal.
1st and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Back to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit, right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there. his first touchdown on the year. And this offense takes the ball down the field and scores on their opening drive.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
Now the try here for the point after. And it's good to make it 7-0. So that drive, 80 yards, 9 plays. And the result, a Houston touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And trotting out there, a guy who's established himself as a veteran in this league, now in his 5th year at quarterback.
And for how good he is throwing the ball, it's his running that makes him so dangerous. He had a couple of touchdowns on the ground in last week's game, so we'll see what they dial up for him for this one.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 14 carries, 62 yards.
It's a pretty mediocre week for him on the ground. Certainly a boon to his offense if he can get a little more output on his touches this week. He should get some more early carries as his team tries to get him into a rhythm.
Up the middle they go. It's Roth. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Now a handoff up the middle. Roth, he takes this for 3 to the 29.
When you look at this defense,
they enter this one down in the 26th position in the NFL against the run.
And this group talks all the time about wanting to be better, getting stronger against the run. And to me, it all starts up front. You've got to win the line of scrimmage in order to play against the run very well.
throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
A 46-yard punt, 4-yard return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
No gain on the play there, 2nd down. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. We'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
3rd and 19.
Back to throw here. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this.
Ouch, you thought you had the defensive stand. Roughing the passer wipes it out.
What does every defense talk about? 3 and out, right? Thought they were able to get off the field. Not so.
And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
Here now, 2nd and 9 from the 39-yard line.
Now back to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
off the play fake. He'll look to throw.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The home team's offense and their quarterback coming out for their second drive. And he continues to be a nightmare for teams to defend in the red zone. You see the graphic. He's second in the NFL in terms of rushing touchdowns by a quarterback.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Up the middle they go.
It's Roth. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. But you look at this defense. They enter this one down in the 26th position in the NFL against the run.
I always think back to what my defensive coordinator in college used to tell me. Playing against the run is 11 individual battles, man on man. And are you going to win that battle? You're going to whip the guy across from you and get to the ball carrier, wrap him up, and put him on the ground? Because the one thing he absolutely detested was yards after contact. Tackle him, put him down on the spot.
And take it right on the 30.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. On play action, they'll throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. So they bring out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. 3-2, their record through the first 5 games of the year as they got the victory last week. It's still early, just October, but what have you seen from these guys so far?
Well, what I've seen is a team that's still figuring out all their pieces because they've got some new faces from a year ago. Add in some new draft picks. Sometimes it takes a month or so before you really start to gel as a team and for those players to figure out their roles. But right now, I see them starting to elevate.
And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment.
Here's McCoy.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
This is taken around the 12. It's a 45-yard punt and 8 on the return. And now out comes Houston. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Ball at the 23, 2nd and 8. They'll keep it on the ground. Pendleton. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation. Now a handoff up the middle. Pendleton. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
They bring their punter out there now as he's on to punt for Houston. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. Now McCoy. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the 2nd quarter, and it's our visitors with the football. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Up the middle they go. Pendleton. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. On 3rd down, Pendleton. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 47 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And this one too low.
As defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback because you've really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case,
can't get away, and he's taken down. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
And this offense on third down today, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be third and a mile. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he gets this to the 48, but no further. Well short of the line to gain. They get 13, but it's not nearly enough. And it'll be fourth down. And they'll send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And you can't do it much better than that. This ball kicks out of bounds at the 4-yard line. The home team's offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he's been very impactful when using his legs this year, both when the pocket breaks down and by design. You notice his name sits near the top when looking at the league leaders in rushing yards by a quarterback. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
And that's frustrating for a defense because they've got them pinned down deep. And on the first play, they give up a run that keeps an offense on schedule.
Yeah, because 3 to 4 yards, that's all you're looking for right there, right?
That's absolutely perfect, really, as a play call. You get 3 to 4 yards on first down. That's what they talk about us all the time, about being ahead of the chains or on target, ahead of schedule. They were after that run.
From the gun on third down, McCoy working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
That's really good play design right there, and it's one that comes down to the offensive line. It's a deep in route, but it's only going to work if that line gives you time in the pocket to wait for the route to develop. Mission accomplished there as they pick up the first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
They will come up on a 1st and 5 following the encroachment penalty. They'll try and run this one right up the gut. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line. From the 46, here's 2nd and a yard. Off the play fake, McCoy. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
Martin, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with, some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting the 50% thus far.
Well, certainly that has played a big role into why they are trailing right now. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. So that time they got the left guard with a hold.
And let's face it, in today's ball, you might have that 330-pound guy you're supposed to clear out of there. You might need a little bit of extra help by grabbing the jersey and trying to ride him out.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Not many boos just yet from this home crowd, but they may be starting soon as I'm starting to detect an uneasy murmur through this crowd. This offense, they've been lifeless in this first half. And now here's another punting situation and a 4th down.
And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. They'll wind up losing 3 there on the sack. Good pressure, and it's 2nd down. Looking to throw. And that's incomplete.
What a sequence there defensively. You get the sack to move him to 3rd and long. Then here, just nothing available. And he's got to throw it away.
They'll set up to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
To me, this is a case of if you're not getting the ball, you've got to do your job and block for the guy who is, because there really wasn't much there. And, boy, the defense took advantage with that loss.
And the defense, they were just locked in there on 3rd. They had more guys than they could block. It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
So they cite the right guard this time with a holding penalty.
And so many different assignments you can have at that position, and sometimes you might just be a step too late and have to grab and hold on.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack. Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he powers his way up past the 30. Give him 5 yards on the run there, but it'll leave him with a definite 3rd and long on the horizon. Back to throw. McCoy. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Well, they'll get 15, but that won't be nearly enough. It's 4th down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
And the slot man goes in motion left. Now a fake on the jet sweep. And they'll instead run up the middle. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. They'll keep it on the ground. Pendleton. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. 53 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. 3rd and 4. He'll look to throw. Oh, and that is incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. So a change of possession here on the punt. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession in the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. 2 minutes on the clock, 2nd quarter, 7-0 ball game. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. McCoy. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he'll only get this to about the 44 as they stop him short of the line to gain. And on now is the punter. He's been terrific so far. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Houston set to take over. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. He'll look to throw. Over the middle, it's complete. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. They'll see about converting this 3rd and 8. They'll look to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And they will rally and stop him short of the first down. They get him to the ground at the 26. Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. This offense back to work now late in this first half. A slim deficit here in a one-possession game. Not much time left, obviously. We'll see if they can march this down the field, at least get 3 and take some momentum into the locker room. Here's 2nd and 3. Back to throw. McCoy. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and they will take over 1st and 10. One final go for this offense here in this first half. And they may be content to take this 7-0 lead into the locker room. We'll see. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Looking left side, and it's complete. And out across midfield down to the 45. That one goes for 30 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. They go play action here on 1st down. A throw out wide going to be incomplete.
No sense risking anything there on 1st down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who can make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
That's to the sideline and incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go.
Not sure what you're thinking here, partner, but I believe the officials have done a nice job here getting together and then coming out and indicating that there was a receiver in the area.
Absolutely, and he was in the area. Correct call made, no grounding. So we've reached halftime with just the lone touchdown here. 7-0 is our score. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
This has been a hard-fought battle thus far. Just the one touchdown to this point is still anybody's game at 7-0, as both of these defenses have been out there trying to one-up one another.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. This offense ready to go to begin this third quarter. This is a game, Charles, that's been fairly starved for offense. Really not much in that first half. We'll see if they can get something going here as we look toward the third quarter.
And not just a chance to finally get a little more offense going, but to erase that small deficit they currently trailed by. I think they'd send a pretty powerful message to the opposite sideline if they drive it right down the field coming out of the half.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49.
There are a lot of different formulas to winning football, but one constant over the years, winning on third down. That pickup there was big because they had struggled throughout this one.
And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for...
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Now, throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. Their defense has pitched the shutout. Now they probably need to deliver a little breathing room, maybe make it a 2-score game as they've got it 1st and 10. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. They were looking for a little spark and some breathing room. They got it right there, a gain of 14 and a first down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
So a little breathing room now. 1st and 10 at the 17. They run the counter. Pendleton. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
And only a couple there up to about the 23-yard line.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. And that gain of 9 buys them a new set of downs. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. He'll drop to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave them with a 3rd down.
The plan was clearly to challenge them by sending a blitz on 2nd down, but even the extra guys couldn't catch him in the backfield, though. He didn't scramble for a first, but he does get the last laugh by evading the blitz and getting beyond the line of scrimmage.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
Normally on third down and short yardage, you're thinking to throw to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. They'll drop the throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he's taken down inside the 30. 17 more yards. They had 17 on the previous snap as well.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Touchdown! A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And his guys are going to add on to their lead.
And that's a drive that makes everyone happy on that bench because they accomplish exactly what they set out to do. Take care of the football, eat up a little clock, end up in the end zone. Now they've got a cushion for the rest of the game. So they didn't just help themselves offensively, they helped their defense out as well.
Now the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. That time a 9-play drive. And the result, a Houston touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. And now this offense comes back out onto the field.
They're staring at a 2-touchdown deficit, 14-0 the score as they regroup with 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
46 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
And right about now, you start to think, and maybe they're starting to think, gosh, maybe points aren't going to happen for us in this game.
Well, it's a thought that is worth having because so far in this game, this defense has not just had the upper hand. They've appeared to be a step ahead, maybe even 2 steps, to everything they've done. They've had an answer for everything this offense has thrown at them.
The visitors' offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Now a give right side. Pendleton. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
I really like what he did there because he took his practice work and converted it to game action because he used his hands, got off the block, worked laterally and stayed to the outside, and finished off the runner for a loss.
They'll keep it on the ground. Pendleton. And room there to work it inside the 25. Able to pick up a healthy chunk of yards, 7-yard gain, but a tough 3rd and 9 upcoming. They'll set up a throw. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he's going to get this to about the 20, but that is well short of what he needed. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. And the 13-year man puts it through, and that will extend their lead even further.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive.
And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Here's a 2nd and 3 now from the 33.
Looking to throw. McCoy. He finds his man. Complete. That's Schwartz. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. Off play action. McCoy.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
Well, it certainly feels like this defensive group has figured this guy out to the tune of a big lead in this one. And you know that he's frustrated with how this game has gone. And now with back-to-back interceptions, he's got to find a way to get out of his own head and start making better plays.
Houston's offense taking over again. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset.
They'll try and start this drive in the air.
A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
Over the middle, he finds Pettis complete. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters.
This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
Back now here on EA Sports as we are just about set to go here in quarter number 4. On 3rd down, Pendleton. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage.
The 71 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw.
And oh, that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. 2nd and 10.
They're going to look to throw. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down.
I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it, and he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Now, this game went off the rails early for them and never really got back on track. And these fans, they were expecting to be on the other side of the scoreboard, but that is not the case as we play on here in this 4th quarter.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. A nice little screen. They get 6 on 1st down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way. At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play. They'll look to throw again. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Back to throw again. Throwing the out route and complete. It's Simmons. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. So they need 2 yards here on 3rd down. Remember, they're already 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions on this drive. Again, he'll drop to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a 1st down.
It hasn't been the cleanest game for him, but there was a sign of improvement as he looks towards the next one. Nice bit of scrambling to move the sticks, and even more importantly, he didn't risk adding another interception to his ledger.
He's into space past the 25, and he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. A new set of downs after a strong pickup of 16 yards. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and it's 2nd down. Back to throw. McCoy. This will be caught at about the 6. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. And it's caught. Touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown reception. And his guys are able to close that gap just a bit. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you'd kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Extra point right down the middle, and that cuts this lead down to 13. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes, and he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
Holding offense.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. In motion, the tight end. Now a handoff up the middle. Pendleton, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Sometimes in the run game, you can make the argument that quickness beats size. And how about the example right here?
They'll keep it on the ground. Pendleton. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here.
I don't think anyone thought we'd see a run facing 2nd and that long, and that element of surprise, I think, helped make that play so successful. Nice effort on that carry, and it took what seemed like 2nd and impossible, now has him within throwing range of a 1st down.
And he's going to come up a few yards short of the 1st. They get him to the ground at the 37. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. So they bring out their punter as he's on to punt for Houston. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. The home team's offense and their wideout getting set to go once more. He's already made his presence felt in this one with his previous touchdown grab, and that's been the story of his season thus far as you take a look at the NFL's current leaders in touchdown receptions. The offense back out there at the line ready for their next drive. Well, still a long way to go, but trending upward. They scored the last time out, you remember. Then their defense forced the punt. Now they try to inch closer, but still ultimately down 2 scores in the final quarter. Now a 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun, McCoy. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. Still going inside the 20. And touchdown! A big play there. With now 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. And his guys have made this a 1-score game now. So that's a really big play here in the 4th quarter. And don't look now. They're right back in this game.
Did it feel to you, as it did to me, that maybe they were a little bit soft in what they were lining up with on defense? Almost like they were protecting the lead rather than trying to make a play.
And now that lead is down to just one score. Extra point splits the uprights. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. So here comes the kickoff, and what now is just a one-score, 6-point game. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. This offense and their running back headed back onto the field. And it's hard to believe you could run the ball a whole lot better than he has. The vision, the cutback ability, the acceleration, it's all been on display throughout. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. This game has really flipped on its head. 2 unanswered touchdowns by the other side, and now they take over here with just a very slim one-score lead.
And we've seen this how many times now? Teams get a big lead, they go into coast mode, and all of a sudden they're scrambling and battling for a win down the stretch. They've got to put something together right here, otherwise they're in danger of doing the old snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. They'll look to throw here. And a throw there going to be incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
This offense making its way back out, led by their wide receiver. And he's looking to finish strong. He has been the star of the show, as they have just had absolutely no answers for him defensively. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a fourth quarter lead. From the 35, back to work on 2nd and 4. Hands it off out of the gun. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game, and all that pregame wolfing has turned into results.
Looking left side, and he's got him in. That's Schwartz.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10. Now McCoy. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. Now McCoy. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Simmons. A bit of a catch for him to remember. That's number 400 for his NFL career. Not a bad number at all. He'll look to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. Here it is, 4th and inches. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Got a man. It's the rookie out of the 3rd round. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. This is 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. Now another timeout called for by the offense as it comes with 1:04 left to go in the game. Here comes 2nd down. They'll look to throw. This will be caught at about the 6. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. They need 2. Here's 3rd down. Back to throw. And he is in as they have tied it late here in the final minute of the 4th quarter. Now they can boot it through on the always important extra point, and then their defense has to hold up their end of the bargain.
And there's something that you've pointed out in numerous games that we've worked. Okay, the excitement's going on. Everyone's celebrating over there. Who's calling up the defense to make sure they're focused, because they still have some work to do?
Extra point attempt to follow here. And they have taken the lead here in this 4th quarter. A 10-play drive that time. And it's capped off by the touchdown and the ever-critical extra point. So it is a 1-point lead here in the final minute of action. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The situation for him offensively as follows. Down 21-20, 27 seconds to go. He's back to throw. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Back to throw. And that is incomplete. This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. How about the call to come with the blitz there in this situation?
And some of those calls happen just because of what they do on offense. So when they send out a number of people in the pattern, sometimes they just make a change on defense, say, okay, we'll come after you instead. And that's exactly what they did.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's knocked away and incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that's going to be just about all she wrote for this one. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. And they'll indeed take a knee. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And they will take a knee here. Well, somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break, Charles. Remember, they trailed at intermission. They come out, they have the big second half, and that lifts them to the victory.
And Brandon, trailing at halftime, we always talk about teams making adjustments. You know what the best adjustments usually are? It's just executing better. Because the game plan you put in place at the beginning of the week often still holds. You don't have to make wholesale changes. You just have to do it a little bit better, a little cleaner. And they did that in the second half, and that led them to victory.
So for the home team here, their good start continues as they get their record up to 4-2. And they will hit the road next week. Meanwhile, for Houston, the downward spiral continues as they drop to 0-6 now. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.